Um, so I am my title actually has changed a couple of times throughout the year. I started as a social media manager at TriStar Products, and I started doing like YouTube and stuff because my company started doing it was an infomercial company, and then it flipped into social because they realized that infomercial is not working anymore. Doing TV propagandas and things like that. It's just not pulling anymore for them. So they used to be an infomercial company, but now they are completely social. So they did a complete 180 on that. And I was one of the first people that they hired for the social media team for to get it started basically, and to try and get onto their company digitalized and all these things. So my title changed a lot throughout this time. So I started as a social media manager doing just YouTube, uploading content to YouTube. I wasn't really that involved. And then it changed over to like growth brand manager, which is more of, I started doing a lot more uh, branding campaigns and trying to really get the brand of our products and our clients more aligned with what we wanted it to be like, not so much product oriented where it's I guess before where it would be more like sale, 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 and not enough of like what the brand is about and like brand transparency. And really, it's a lot, people are caring a lot more about like products and such nowadays. So it's more about really trying to get that transparency through and trying to have people trust the brand itself, right? Because people don't want to buy brands that they don't trust. So my title changed again because we realized, our company realized that they needed more of a search engine optimization. So then I got my Google Analytics certificate and things like that. And that's honestly what is probably going to happen with a lot of you guys. Once you get into the workforce, your title is going to change a lot. You might get into startups, you might get into marketing organizations and such, and your title is going to change a lot. And that's what happened to me. So then I went from that growth brand manager, little iffy on very generic, because they wanted me to do a lot. And then it went on to SEM growth brand manager, uh, and then also YouTube manager because they just didn't know what else I like. They just needed me to do a lot more. And sometimes a little bit of that, it can be a little scary because you're kind of thrown into something where they don't even know where they're going. And you kind of have to lead that path and see what you can do. So then SEM is more like search engine marketing, going into like search engine optimization, like whenever you type something on Google, you want it to come up first and things like that, content creation, visualization, research, analytics, I'm sure all the stuff that you guys are learning now. Um, it kind of like I do like a little bit of everything pretty much now. So now I lead like my team of creatives and a team of like people that do the campaigns and stuff like that. And that's because when you getting integrated into a company, you start up very, very small. And then once you really make a pitch for what you think would be better for that organization, if the company is good, they'll listen, and they'll try to introduce these new ideas. And like I said, this infomercial company kind of switched over and flipped over to social media. So now we are leading that side of the organization, right? So with that comes a lot of like responsibilities and different types of skills that I'm sure you guys have. And sometimes when I was in college, I was really afraid that the major I had picked wasn't the right one. And I'm not sure if maybe you guys can relate or not, but I was afraid that I wasn't making the right decision with regards to my major. So I was very, um, I swayed a lot between do I want to be creative? Do I want to do marketing? Do I want, to do just accounting and like management? Do I want to be like have a lot of responsibility on my plate and be on top of everything and of everyone? Or do I want to just, hang out and be creative and focus on that part, maybe as a producer and things like that. So that was very challenging for me throughout college. And last time when I did this same Zoom call with another class, they found it really helpful that I said that it's okay to sway in between majors, and it's okay to change up your classes and things like that, because that is something that I did, and it was so helpful to me, even though everybody told me not to do that and not to sway from my major and just do business and such. I did just it was just a mess, but I did everything, and every little thing really counted towards my resume and like what I'm doing now. So for example, right now what I'm doing is I am also like in the production process of like content creation and filmmaking. So I have to direct some of the commercials that we do because I know what people want. And sometimes the directors and the producers don't necessarily know. So then I end up pretty much co-producing or co-directing with them to make sure that we get the right message out there, right? So something from my resume that I guess my the global director picked up was that I had filmmaking like experience and production experience, and that is something that now for business students, I think at Montclair they prohibit it for whatever reason, but I was one of those people that really wanted it to be some sort of elective or something like that. And I, even when they were closing on that aspect, I remember I went to the professor and I was like, I really want to do this class. Is there any way I can get in this? Because with my major, there's no way I can ever do this. It was very it was something that was not allowed. Even you were not even able to apply for the major, right? Somebody has to give you permission. So then he gave he signed some sort of thing, like they helped me out as long as I was vocal about what I wanted to do. They were able to do that for me. The counselors and the people that help you manage your classes and stuff, they don't always know what's best, but if you have an interest in something, they can help you get there. So for that film making class, that was it was very selfish of me to want it, even though it was not at all in my major. It was very helpful for me in that way to getting the job that I have today. And I guess with that, all I'm trying to say is that it's okay to like sway from your major and want to do other things, because what's great about business is that you can have business in any industry you would want, right? Correct. So if you want to be in the medical, pharmaceutical industry and do business, accounting, management, marketing, anything, you can do that. If you want to be in fashion industry, you can do that. If you want to be, any type of industry, you can do that. So for me, it was very silly that they were kind of like prohibiting students from doing this, but I did it anyways, and you can do it anyways as well, as long as you go to like literally just go to the school and ask, and go to a professor and ask for permission, and then you can get there as long as you want to do the class. So I did this one class because I really wanted to. I was very stubborn, and it was the one class that really it broke the balance between my competition and me, because I had filmmaking experience, I had production experience, and they didn't. And that was it. So that is something that really helped me out. And I think it really helped last class out, because many of us, grow up with certain I guess thoughts that maybe it's not great to sway from your major, or maybe I grew up in a home of like very strict Spanish and Asian parents, so they wanted me to either be like somebody who does business, or doctors, stuff like that. And that is something that I really hated while going to college. I thought I hated my major. And I realized that as I went through, I think I was in junior year, and everybody was telling me, now don't just concentrate on what you're doing. That's when I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna do whatever I think I want. And that is something that really helped me. Another thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about, because I really want this to be more informative, not so much about me, but more about like what I can offer you guys, is I wrote a couple notes here because I'm very like I have like ADHD, and I'm like I really need to write everything down so that I can get everything through. But I something I mentioned before as well was that I really hate the word journey, because a lot of people here, whenever they tell you, oh, you're on your journey to finding whatever you need, they usually mean that you're taking a long time to get to where you need to be. And it's kind of a romanticizing way of saying you're on your journey to getting somewhere, and you're not there yet. So whenever I hear the word, I'm on my journey, or sometimes you see people on LinkedIn saying like this journey, if it isn't a good connotation where you're already there, I guess it's good. But in I've seen it in many ways, especially when I was in Montclair, that some people refer to it more as a like it's okay for it to take so long because you're on your journey to be somewhere and you're not there yet. And that is totally fine, but it is a romanticizing way of saying that, whereas instead of you wanting to be somewhere in the future, you could just be doing that now. And that is something that I found really helpful when I was at Montclair. There was a time where a lot of people were waiting to get their major, get their diploma, whatever, and then get on the workforce. And then they would start researching what type of jobs they wanted and what type of industry they wanted to be in. But I found it really helpful to have found my industry way before that. And I think it would be really helpful for you guys as well if you were to not wait for your journey to do what you needed to do and research and go through this huge step after you're done. That step is better to do it while you're still here, so that you don't have to go through that later on, right? Because it's not good to really just focus on your journey and what you're going to do then. It's better to focus on what you're going to do now, right? Why do tomorrow what you can do today, pretty much. And that is really helpful for especially when you're trying to get into the workforce and such. It's more like I guess I just have like a very like a lot of people said that word around me, and they were like, it's more like a transition to your maturity level rather than what you could be now, right? So is it gonna be easy? Probably not. You're probably going to hear a lot more no's than yeses, like probably 100 no's to one yes. But that's just what it is, honestly, in a way that you, as long as you don't give up and you're still trying to do your best to be able to get the job that you want and such, you should be okay. As long as you change things up, you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. For example, a lot of people say that getting a college degree is like useless now, and I'm sure maybe a lot of you agree, maybe not. But my boyfriend, for example, was one of those people, and he went to a boot camp for coding, and he went through a lot of the stuff that people don't see now, that is very, it's hard, it's a hardship because he can't prove to people that he has I guess the maturity level to be able to retain information, and he doesn't have the commitment. He can't prove that, because he didn't go to college. And it is hard for him ever since COVID hit. He's been trying to find a job, and he still can't find a job just because of that. Because he doesn't have a college degree, because people think that not having it might just be better, or just might be easier, and sometimes it's not that way. So the fact that you guys are getting that education and being here is not really about the classes. It's more about like ending it, getting your diploma, and then being able to do something with it, right? Like something I mentioned before a lot was networking. And I know that for a lot of you in your classes, teachers might tell you, go to the seminars, go to this, go to that. And you're like, I don't know about that. Well, I was one of those people that wasn't very into seminars, very into networking, very shy. But eventually I did start going to these, and I realized that whenever I went to these, first of all, I always failed the assignment because the teacher was always like, go to these seminars, and whoever shows up, gets like extra credit or something. And I was always late to these. I just could not make it on time for some reason. So I always failed them, 0. But what I did notice was that even though I was late, I stayed there until the seminar was over. And then there was always people there to network with, and that would talk to you about what the seminar was about and things like that. And then these people ended up being the people that would be able to get you a job. Like my first job was as a presentation specialist for a creative team. And this was because of a seminar. I met this lady that was there, and she was like, yeah, we're looking for somebody creative that kind of has 10 years on PowerPoint or something. And I'm like, I've done PowerPoint my whole life, and like just presentations my whole life. So I'll apply. And I did. And because I had her recommendation, because she was the director, they took me. And then there's no job where you won't get training. So you shouldn't ever be afraid of not being able to apply for a job because you don't think you have the skills necessary for the job. You will get them there, honestly. Because that is what happened. That is what happened to me. And I know for a fact that is what happens every time when you're trying to like hire for a job and such. For example, the people that we hire right now for TriStar, I'm very involved in that process because I need somebody who does graphics, who does marketing, who does business, who can do like project budgeting, things like that. So I want to be able to go over there and kind of gauge what they have, and then give my recommendation on whether or not they should be hired. And usually they don't know what the job is about. We will always train them. So that is something that I think is very helpful, because a lot of people shy away from applying to a job because they don't think they're good enough for the job. I can tell you 100% that's not true. If you think that you could do something and you apply for it, and you have like as long as you have like the degree, even it doesn't even have to be the degree for the actual job. As long as you have a degree from a college or university, and you show that you can learn, and you show that you are quick at like picking things up, then you're a good candidate for that job.
First job. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you said what certificates did I get?
Yeah, because I know you were talking about your Google Analytics, because I was looking into that as well. I just want to know like more about it.
Yeah. So for my first job, I did not get a certificate. I just applied with my college degree. I think I did have the Bloomberg certificate, that one that I think it's required for you guys. I'm not sure if that's still the case, but I did have the Bloomberg certificate, but that's it. That did not help me in getting the job. It was more so just knowing about search engine optimization overall, knowing what it was, and really being able to speak to the experience I had in my resume. It wasn't until I was already in the job when I got my Google Analytics certification. That's when my title changed to like SEM, growth manager and stuff. So while you're in the job, if you're able to grow your certifications and things like that, you're able to ask, oh yeah, that's so important. You're able to ask for a raise. So you're able to ask for bigger things. So you don't have to hurry yourself and stress yourself, because I know, well, at least when I was in college, I was very stressed. I wanted to do a lot of things and I had no time for anything. So I didn't do any certifications that I wanted to do at the time, because I think I would have also liked to do a bunch of stuff then. But it wasn't until I was actually in the job when I saw, well, this is helpful. I should know about this. And then when I got it, I was like, can I get a raise or something? Very professional, of course. And if the company is up to it, they will give you it. If the company is a good company, like there's so many companies right now that are often offering excellent benefits, and like they're very good about what they offer, then they will give it to you. Some companies are not that way. The first company I applied for wasn't even a marketing job. It was a proposal coordination. That was my second job, actually. Proposal coordination coordinator job. And that was more so because I had always wanted to be like some sort of architect and things, and I know that doesn't add up with everything. But it really gave me an outlook onto what that was like. And then once you're in the workforce, then you can get a job. You'll see that once you get your first job, for some reason, all the recruiters, they're like, oh my God, this person got a job. Like, let me like spam their DMs and everything on I want them on my company now. But then you already accepted the job, and then you can't, it's better for you to wait at least like 6 months or so until you are able to like elevate to something else, just so that you have that experience, and then you can change over to something else, right? I know your question got a little lost there, but I hope I answered it. Is there anything else?
How about so your major was what was your major?
I majored I majored in management first, but then I switched over to marketing. And then throughout the course, I was also doing like entrepreneurship and just random creative courses like graphic design and filmmaking and such. I never majored on creative design or filmmaking or anything like that. Or I didn't even get a minor, you guys. I literally just dressed up my resume so well that I made it look like I just had a lot of experience on it. And it's really about that, because your resume, you're selling yourself, right? No, that sounds a little weird. You're selling your experience, right? So if you feel really confident about something, you're really passionate about something, you should just, go ahead and do it, and then put it in your resume. Everything you do in college right now, you can definitely put in your resume. As long as you dress it up really well, it can account to that particular job. And that is something that I realized when I was in my job, that anybody could have gotten my job with any sort of major. And I wrote a couple here. For example, let's see, where are they? Oh, here it is. So overlooking all brands under one umbrella on YouTube. It's a production, marketing, analytics, business job, but it can also be other sorts of majors. So for project, I do project budget management. That already is an accounting major. Digital analytics major. Consumer behavior is marketing major. Entrepreneurship, design and perspectives, graphic design majors or visualization majors. Company and brand decision makings management majors, group webinars and meetings, communication majors, filmmaking, communication as well, application design, software engineering majors, trends in culinary for video directing and producing, nutritionist jobs and things like that. Those people could have also gotten my job because they were proficient in that way. For the company would have been very helpful for them as long as they knew how to do social media and they were a nutritionist and they knew about food and how to market it and how to market products around it. They were in. Product making, testing and research for mechanical engineering majors and such. So as long as you are able to get a degree for something that you will complete, and you get coursework on other things that you have an interest for, it's better to not limit yourself and be able to do those as well, because you never know. That may be the reason why you are picked over other people, or that may be the reason why you get your dream job as opposed to not getting something, right?
That was your competitive advantage, was actually you're the weird person that went out to film. And so, in
Right.
general, I would say the competitive advantages don't be like everybody else, because you don't want to be generic. You want to be somebody that's bringing together two things that are not necessarily ordinarily done. That's what opens up doors, because they're looking for a person who is, maybe does analytics and they also do communication. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, like, it's insane, you guys. Companies right now, they're looking for really somebody that can do everything, because and it is in a way great, because we have generations now that can do everything. We are, technologically more intact with everything than other generations, and that is a huge advantage, especially now. Unfortunately, older generations, it's really hard for them to get a job right now. No matter how many years of experience you have, you need to be able to use your technology. If you're not, then you are below the competition, and that is a huge advantage for a lot of people coming into the workforce right now, because everything is going digital. And that is definitely something that will make you guys stand out, as well as like what Professor Colucci just said. If you guys have different sorts of abilities or skills in your resume, you are more likely to be chosen than other people are. Even if the jobs that you have are so different. For example, it really matters more what industry you're in rather than what type of job you have, to be able to get into the job that you want. So your first job is very important in that way. But
You
if
should
you're
really
able
think
to,
about the industry you want first, and then just take
right.
anything in that industry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you want to be able to choose the industry you want. If you really like fashion, right, and you want to be able to get into a fashion industry, but you are studying business and management, that doesn't mean that you can't get into the industry. You can get into the industry by getting jobs, like, for example, retail and things like that. And once you're there and you complete your degree, I could never get a job in fashion, and that's because I didn't work retail. And a lot of people, it's it's kind of surprising because you would think that oh, as long as you're able to get your major, even people that have their majors in fashion, things like that, it's hard for them to get, it might be harder for them to get a job than somebody that has experience in retail and has a business degree, you know. And it's the mixture of those things that are able to get them that job, and then they can do what they want to do within that industry, so they don't have to be fashion designers or, you know, creators. They can be the people that drive the analytics. And honestly, for me at least, that's a lot of fun. Like, it's, I get to watch all the numbers and like grow and go around, and for me, I really enjoy that. If you are a business major, I would think so as well. I really appreciate when the numbers go the direction I want them to go, and especially when I give feedback to the creative teams, the content teams, everybody that makes the commercials and things like that, and they follow that feedback, and then the results come out better than they were. I know that I'm making a difference, and that's really impactful for me, at least. And within a fashion industry or whatever type of industry, food industry, any type of industry, it's the same thing. They have different types of jobs for multiple different types of people. Sometimes they make up the title, like my job, they made up titles for me because I was doing a lot of everything, and they just wanted for me to be able to grow within their own organization. That is something that is very valuable to look for in a company that there is room for growth. And if there's not, you can go ahead and, you know, move on because at the end of the day, it's what makes you a better version of yourself, right? Everybody has individual characteristics that makes us who we are, right? And if you are in a job that is making you unhappy, or a job that maybe you thought it would be all that and it's not, there's so many jobs out there. You can go ahead and really just look for something else. And within a year, honestly, you should be moving on from your job, unless it's really great. Because that is what I've done. And that's, for me, has worked the best. To not be, a lot of people have looked down upon being a job hopper. But for me, it's been very rewarding because it's I got to know a lot of different jobs and a lot of different aspects, and it's pushed me to not stay in one place. You know, change is good. It can be a little hard and a little difficult to deal with, but you learn a lot, and you're able to move on further and further, and, you know, get a bigger salary every time. And that was a really big plus for me, and being at a job where I'm able to do that. And you know, I've only been at this job for 1 year, and I went through 3 different positions throughout that year. Before that, I was a director at a Montclair festival, Montclair Design Week. I was a creative director for a couple of conventions I did for I don't know if you guys are like anime comic book fans, like Comic-Con, Con. I did the social media for those. You know, like being able to manage these things. I came from like a background that was so varied, but it didn't even matter because all of that experience really what it did was just elevate my resume. It didn't matter that I jumped from job to job. What mattered was that I was growing while I was doing that. Right.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the old days, it would be kind of like they would expect you to, you know, go into a job and stay there for 20 years, and you would be trained in specifically for one thing, and it seems like it's totally upside down now. They're creating jobs on the fly, and you sort of have to adapt to it. And you sort of have to, you know, you're moving from position to position, job to job, and you know. The other, it could happen the other way too. They could decide, well, you know, this didn't work. Let's get rid of her. You know.
Yeah.
So you can't be loyal to them because they're not going to be loyal to you.
As unfortunate as it is, the workforce is just moving so quickly now. New jobs appear every day. I remember when I went into social media. All of a sudden, it was like the biggest new thing. And then, you know, a lot of people were getting fired from their jobs, and a lot of people were getting hired, but the demographic of these people was completely different. And, you know, unfortunately, like I said before, like older generations, sometimes it's really, as supposed to before, where it was better to have more experience. Now it's better to be a multitasker, right? Be able to do a little bit of everything and be able to be fast and be able to be in the now, following the trends, especially for business. You want to be following the trends, following the marketing, all of that. So it has completely flip-flopped around, especially like my company is a really great representation of that. An infomercial company that used to do as seen on TV ads, things like that, completely flipped around, and now it's all social. We do our campaigns through YouTube. We specialize on like doing like branding campaigns for like healthy like products like air fryers and like cooking without oil, things like that. And you know, and as we go on, we try to update our managers, right? Because they are looking for people that have ideas, and they're looking for people that have new ways of thinking, because that is going to be the new consumer as well. So they need to be in with that as well, and with all those trends as well. So now something that we're working on, for example, we do a lot of like infomercials for like air fryers and like products for that will save waste and things like that. But now we're looking into making something out of plastic that's like biodegradable and things like that, because that is what newer generations care about more, which is great. So I love being part of that change in that way.
You feel good that you're producing a product that's actually going to be helpful. So biodegradable and all that good stuff. We were talking about that. How if you can actually brand yourself and your product and associate yourself with environmentalism or helping people, that's it seems to be a bigger and bigger deal. Like companies that are associated with either social movements or the environment or things like that, more and more important.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Like I remember when I first started in the company for air fryers, for some of our air fryers are from the brands for Power Excel and Emerald. They were very Emerald. I don't know, Professor Colucci, do you know Emerald? Do you guys know Emerald? Who Emerald is? I didn't. I had no idea. And when I went into this company, I was like, oh, this is Emerald. And then when I went home, my parents, my grandma, they knew Emerald. I had no idea who Emerald was. And now I know who Emerald is. He's like this tremendous chef. He was like in MasterChef and everything. He's one of the best known like global chefs apparently, but I had no idea, and I'm sure many of you have, if you have heard of him, that's great. But I had no idea at the time. So that is something that I had to familiarize myself with. And then I had to propose ideas for this brand, because this brand is very followed by people in the ages from like 45 to 65, right? And their problem to solve was, how do we get this brand to be younger, to be more in the now? Because it's not before, everybody, if you said the word, oh, Emerald, everybody knew who he was, but now nobody knows who he is, So my job and a lot of the people I work with, when we have like research meetings and like trend meetings and such, we are looking for solutions as to how to make these products like update it and update their customer base and their and everything. So one of the things that we're doing now, and this is kind of like a tease if you're an Emerald fan or something like that, but we are working now with Emerald's son, and he is this really great looking I don't know, young guy. He's like 20 something, I think, and he just came in, and he's just like his father. He loves cooking, and he is very, and he doesn't have, it's funny, he doesn't have any social media presence, of course. And so now the new thing is going to be getting him into social media, getting him out there, putting his name in things, and really passing that Emerald name to him. And that is very exciting. He's going to be live with us on like YouTube now on the Emerald channel. And it's going to be something really great that it's going to really start up his career. Like, this kid is set for life, pretty much. So it's really interesting how, you know, we're taking this brand and we're pretty much going to push this campaign to make it more in the now and more known to people, you know, because Emerald, as familiar and as a like as a, what's the word, like as nice as it is to have him in, he's very like, he's like, you know, he's like what you would picture like a chef to be. That's what he is. Unfortunately, like, he wouldn't do a live session with us. He wouldn't be able to like get into the terms that we would be able to with his son. So now that's the new strategy that we're trying to do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, so Vanessa is on LinkedIn, and so if you want to ask her a question or get in touch, she's usually very happy to work with people and former students, very helpful. So if you want to get in touch with her, let me know. Well, you know, just go through me. I know how to find her ID in LinkedIn.
You just need her last name, Vanessa. Her last
Vanessa
Either.
Visaga.
How do you spell that?
How do you spell it?
It's Visaga. I'm not sure. Is it on my Zoom thing? It just says my middle name.
I don't remember your last name being on your.
Yeah. Let me see if I can change it. Yes, I can.
I think right now it's Vanessa Lou or something.
Yeah, that's my middle name.
Oh,
I think creative design for social innovation. Is that you?
Yes.
okay.
Vanessa L. Visaga.
No. Oh, something I did not mention, you guys, that I think would be so helpful, and I'm sorry because I'm so random, but something that the other class really liked was I mentioned something about doing and creating your own website and things like that. And that is super important, you guys. So if you don't have a website right now for your whatever you're doing, for your resume, for your portfolio, it doesn't matter if you don't have any creative stuff in there. It's good to market yourself within a website. It's probably the best way. And you can include everything that you like and you're passionate about in a website, you know, because it's better than having Facebook or Instagram. You know, you can customize it to whatever you like. And employers really like to see that because it reflects kind of who you are as a person. And also you can create a website to make your own business. So if you're not getting any luck finding a great company to work with, you can also create a business website on Wix, on like there's just so many resources out there as well for that. But probably one of the best things to do, if you don't already have one, just make a website. It's probably one of the best things I can say right now.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like you have to be able to promote yourself. You have to be, you know, aggressive and put yourself out there. it sounds to me like, one of the qualities you have that's works is your, to a certain extent, you just have some confidence, right? You're going to go out and put yourself out there, and you're going to assume it's going to work out, and you'll be able to figure it out. And
Right.
a lot of people are self-defeating if they're not doing that.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, a lot of people, you can have all the qualifications you want, but if you are not putting yourself out there, nobody knows about it. You can't really complain about not being able to land the job that you want or things like that, because you're not doing yourself that favor. So, it all ties down with like networking and being able to like go to these seminars. They're so helpful, you guys. Like, even if you're late, just honestly, doesn't even matter. Don't even take notes because you're not going to read them. It's all about the networking. It's all about, if you're going to college, if you're in the university now, it's because you're here to network. If you're not doing that, you're missing out on probably the biggest part of being at Montclair right now. And Montclair is a wonderful university right now for networking. They have an entrepreneurship lab in the first floor. Yeah. And there you can ask for Professor Ian and be like, Vanessa sent me here, I don't know what this is. And it's they'll walk you through. They love seeing new people. If you have an idea in mind and you want to participate in like a project or a product or something, you can do that. I was there's a yearly competition. I'm not sure if they're still doing that. They should be. There's a yearly competition for like entrepreneurship projects and things like that. I was in one for like Wheat Paste. We won like I don't remember $50,000 or whatever to like be able to launch your app, project, product. It's the opportunities that you really need to take into account. So if you don't know what the Entrepreneurship Lab even is, I recommend the first thing you do next semester, this semester. I think today's the last day for you guys. I don't know. But definitely get yourself there. You won't regret it. It's so fun. There's 3D printing machines. There's like ideology going on all around the room. Everybody there is really nice. They'll help you get you started. They'll help you create a product if you have an idea, a project, a business. And if you have any questions about how to even get started, you can ask one of the entrepreneurship professors. They're really, really helpful. And yeah, and you can email me, you can LinkedIn me, you can message me, and I can also like make sure to be there if you guys do want a project and you need a partner or something like that. Shoot me a message, let me know what it is, and maybe I'll do it. So yeah.
And I really appreciate you talking to us again, because I know and you're probably tired after a long day and all that good stuff. But
I know I took.
Oh, did you? Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, you guys have no idea. Like, I actually got diagnosed with ADHD in my adulthood, which makes so much sense. But
I'm kind of curious if that helps, though.
Yeah, like it makes so much sense, and it's because I'm often like thinking like what am I going to do at this speech? Like what ideas do I have? Oh, I should talk about this, I should talk about that. And that is something that I really wanted to be prepared for you guys today. I'm sorry if I was a little over the place, that's just me. But I really wanted to like write things down about the things that I wanted to talk about, and I'm sure I missed a bunch. So if you guys have any questions or anything, I'm sure I can help you out through that. I've been like a guidance counselor at Montclair State, like helping, like a student counselor, helping students get into their schedules and things like that. I know sometimes they're very busy and they can't help you. It's the best thing you can do is look at your schedule yourself and make your classes happen yourself. Like look, because sometimes they I don't know what they do, but sometimes they tell you go do this art class that you totally don't need, and because you trust that they're the counselors. Sometimes, they're busy, you don't know what's going on. It's better for you to like follow through with it yourself and look at your I forget the website now, I think it's Nest. But look at that and take a look at your classes and what you need for your major and graduation. Same thing for the job that you desire. Take a look at the job and then mold yourself to that, to be desirable for that job, right? So yeah.
Yeah, that's, I think I think that's the problem. A lot of students now, they're just too passive. They're sort of coasting through and hoping to get the degree, and you really can't. That's not probably the best.
Yeah,
you really
no.
need to take control of your own environment. Yeah.
Yeah, it really honestly is such a shame. Like every time I used to be a peer leader, and there's a lot of kids that sometimes they already have their career set, sometimes their parents already have a business or something, and they think they are all good and they just need to complete their degree, and they don't do that. They don't experience, like college life, which is really just networking, hanging out, all those things really affect doing like those hobbies, going to clubs, doing like the extra stuff, like the entrepreneurship stuff, trying to like really elevate who you are as a person, volunteering. It's really what's going to get you further, right? And give you that experience that you want out of college, rather than just completing your degree and be done with it. Because once you have it, you're out of college, you don't get to go back, and that is something that shocked me. I was like, oh no, like I don't get notifications about these seminars anymore. I don't get notifications about, I want to see my friends, I want to see professors and things like that. And you lose connection with all of that, and it's great to have it while and make use of it while you still have it. And that is something that I think it's better to do it before you regret it. Because it goes by very quickly. And I definitely enjoyed my stay at Montclair. I love Montclair. I love all the people that I met. I was very like all over the place, but it was fine. And I learned a lot from being places where maybe I wasn't supposed to be. So if you want to succeed and be able to do what you want to do, or what you're passionate about and love, then you need to put yourself out there and do it. And that's it.
Thank you very much.
No problem.